I'm joined now by Bellator heavyweight Matt Mitrione. Matt, thanks for joining me today, man.
Right on, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
For sure. Now, a fight that's coming up. You're taking on Tyrell Fortune. This fight was expected to happen a couple months ago, was canceled or postponed. How excited are you to get back in there, or is it sort of a mess that you've had to think about this guy for so long?
Nah, man, it's not a mess. Just it's part of the course. Injuries happen, things come up. So I'm not tripping about it, man. It'll be good. I've been training for this fight for like 5 or 6 months now. So it just kind of get in there and get after the work, man. That's all. It's time to work.
I know that you pulled out of this fight, undisclosed reasons. I'm not sure it ever came out as to why you pulled out. Do you want to let us know why, or undisclosed reasons are fine?
Just things, brother. That's all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Tyrell Fortune, obviously, you've said you've been preparing for this guy. He's a wrestler, gets guys to the ground, likes to ground and pound, strike with you. Is that what you're preparing for, or you're a guy who likes to, keep guys at range? Your athleticism is definitely there. How do you see this fight playing out? I don't really want to spend a ton of time talking about it because I'd like to get to know you more than just this fight, man.
No, I appreciate that. Man, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to stay long, stay athletic. I've been wrestling. I've been wrestling at Purdue University. It's a Big Ten university, so I've been wrestling with their heavyweights and their 97 pounders. So I'm prepared for where the fight's going to go. I mean, I'm not going to be a wrestler of Tyrell's caliber. I don't need to be a wrestler of Tyrell's caliber. I need to be a fighter of my caliber and see if Tyrell can match it. If he can, good for him. If he can't, it'll be a short night.
Definitely. Now, you've been on the scene for quite some time. 2009, you made your pro debut. Looking back on your career, is there anything that stood out that you would have changed along the way?
I'm pulling a blank. You got any suggestions for me?
Not really. Did you enjoy The Ultimate Fighter? Are you glad you went that route?
Well, if I didn't go the Ultimate Fighter, I would never started in MMA. It wasn't my thing. It was what I wanted to do. And sure as hell what I want to do for the last 12 years, or for the next 12 years. So, no, I wouldn't have gone another route. And did I like it? No. I would do it again, but not for less than $500,000. And if I had an opportunity to experience it again, and knowing what I've done, or the way it catapulted my career or my opportunity, I should say, then I mean, sure, why the hell not, right?
Definitely. Now, you've been with Bellator for your last few fights. Just talk about the progression with Bellator because, they're obviously top two on the scene. You're seeing notable names. A lot of these guys are re-signing with them or signing with them instead of, extending their careers elsewhere. Just talk about your experience with Bellator as you have been with the big two companies.
Um, Bellator is significantly different than the UFC. It's really, I mean, they are significantly different animals. I mean, it's really difficult, almost to kind of put them in the same category other than the fact that we fight. But ownership is different. The way management sees the product, the fighters, the way they take care of people, the way the backstage is. There's just a significant amount of difference between the two. It's almost very difficult to compare.
Now, you've taken on some submission grappling over the course of your career as well. Is that something that you want to dabble in, like in between fights? Is that something that you're looking at post-career? Because grappling obviously is growing immensely, as we've seen as of late with Submission Underground, with Third Coast Grappling, and all that kind of stuff.
I think that's going to be what I'm going to do now. I think I'm going to start with Tyrell, and I'm just going to straight submission grapple. I'm going to start doing like rolling leg sweep things and drive like bolo barons, baron bolos, and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to start doing now. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to submit Tyrell with a reverse ankle lock.
You heard it here. You heard it here. Now, I have seen your name brought up a few times as a potential opponent for Fedor. I guess it's his retirement fight. Fighting in Moscow would be cool to head over there and fight him. You've been there, done that. You've already finished Fedor early as well. Is that a fight that presents itself to you? And if so, is it something that you would enjoy sort of doing?
Fedor is the greatest of all time. So if my name comes out of his mouth, my answer is yes.
Makes complete sense. Now, moving away from the fight scene, judging by your social media, which I've noticed you don't use a hell of a lot anymore, but you have a meal prepping company, or your wife has a meal prep company, something like that. How did that all come about?
My wife's always gotten down in the kitchen quite a bit. She had a lot of people from COVID, nurses, first responders, that just didn't have time anymore to prepare stuff. They didn't go to the grocery store. They were so busy with work. So some people started coming to her, asking her to jump on the meal prep bandwagon. And she did, and she's done a great job, man. Now that things are kind of opening up, like people can kind of leave their houses, things have slowed down a little bit. But at her peak, she was probably sending out about 450, 500 meals a week. She
That's
was
insane. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, judging by someone myself, I started actually a keto baked goods company over the last 2 months. Yeah, myself and a coworker of mine. You got one tip for me? What would it be? I mean, we're from different necks of the woods, so there's no competition here.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I think that the biggest part that she does, and I watch her from kind of not from afar, but I'm not as involved as she is, obviously. But she's fearless when it comes down to baking. She bakes things too, man. She does like these lemon zest, blueberry, white chocolate chip things and blah, blah, blahs. And she makes all these gluten things and blah, blah, blahs. Like, she's fearless about it, man. It's like she just gets after it. Somebody will recommend stuff to her, like send her emails like, hey, I've been looking for this. I can't find it. Can you look something up like this? And they'll send a link to something similar. And then she'll go into the laboratory and just start getting buck wild and weird and then she'll ship those people this. Hey, man, is this kind of what you're looking for? And then so she does that stuff all the time. Like, she's just really involved, and she's very dialed in when it comes down to flavors and palates. And she's, like I said, she's fearless about trying stuff out.
3 more questions for you here, completely away from fighting. If you were thrown onto a deserted island all by yourself, what are 3 items that you bring with you?
A magnifying glass, a tarp, and a rope.
What do you do with each?
Magnifying glass, I start fires. A tarp, I collect water and give shelter. And a rope, and hold it down, brother.
Nice. Now, looking back, throughout the course of your career, you've had some ups, you've had some downs, you've had some great fights. If you put yourself into a movie role, if your life were a movie, who would play you?
Chris Pratt. What kind of question is that, man?
Do you sing like him or what? Dancing or?
Hey, listen, I sing like a rock, right? Just a rock at the bottom of the ocean, that's all.
There you go. Final question. No, I don't have one. I'm just joking, man. Give me the joke, buddy.
I got a joke for you. Where does a dad store all of his dad jokes?
Where?
In a database.
That's it, boys and girls. That is Matt Mitrione takes on Tyrell Fortune. Thanks a lot for joining me today, man. It's been a blast.
Have a day, gentlemen.